Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show. Good morning, good day, good evening, good whatever, depending where you are. Because any moment you see this show, you see my face, you probably will change your mind to say, "Hey, life is better than I thought." Something like that.
Right.
I try to make it better. At East West Show, as a host, I try very much so, along with my whole team, to imbue our life with the positivity, with something better to hold on to rather than troubles around us. Okay? We have shootings, we have bad shootings, we have massacre kind of shootings. The one just happened on the second day of December. That was the darkest day of American history. Never that worse, never any worse than that day. Followed by lots of aftershocks, including the LAUSD shutting down of 1,100 schools, the whole district you're talking about, that causes taxpayers lots of money. Anyway, well, we'll talk about it one by one, but the subject for today is not for that part. That's only a lead line, that's only a portion to start with. It's a preface. And the core of today's discussion is life goes on. Right? Life goes on,
Get
right?
better.
Right, good. So joining me today is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, a wonderful writer, a wonderful human being with a philosophical mind, and my kind of like godfather type of friend, or avuncular kind of friend.
We are bonded.
All right, we're bounded.
We are
I
bonded.
like him a lot. I like him a lot because my audience like him a lot. So to my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming, here's my and our warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Jack. You know how honored I am when I get to spend moments in my life with you and with your beautiful viewers. And so this is my honor and a joy to be here, even though it's troubled times.
That's why we call ourselves like-minded people,
We are.
because the pleasure is still here in my mind, and also in the minds of my audiences.
Right.
We all feel the same way because we're positive people.
We can't let our own life and our own joy for life be damaged, to be infiltrated to a degree that takes away from our own life and lifestyle.
Unfortunately, there are bad guys,
There are.
right? There are bad guys. There are bad guy to the worst kind,
Really bad.
right? And yet, we have a life to lead on,
Yes.
which goes on regardless.
Yes.
So it is a moment for us. We don't want to say, hey, join me in a moment of silence. We don't want to do that. Yet we want to express our thoughts that we are with those folks whose beloved member. Oh, why don't I let me do this? Okay, how do you feel about those killed, wounded,
Well,
and who's,
one of the main impacts that I find on my own emotions is the Earth is about 25,000 miles around. These 14 people were killed and 21 wounded 50 miles from here, which is just this close. And there's no real reason. I always say life and death are random. These attacks are random. They could have happened in here. Instead, they happened there.
Exactly,
And so
exactly.
this is the deal. There's a risk in life.
By that, I would like to make a little supplement
Yeah, right.
to the comment.
Yeah.
I believe, judging by the amount of time that I've been knowing him for, what he tries to say is that you got to take it easy because what happened happened, right? No matter however worse that is, however bad that is,
Yeah.
we know exactly, we do share the same thoughts with you,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Yet we have a life goes on. To look into life ahead of us, we really have to think the way he thinks. We're talking about still we have a bigger portion
Right.
of life to look ahead, right?
Right.
That's what you want to say, right?
Well, yeah, and what I want to say is that there are tragedies all over the planet every day, and some people will live in denial of the reality. But one of the most important words in my book, which is about lifestyle, is accept. So if it happened, I accept the fact it happened in San Bernardino. I accept the fact that there are people that will not have a glorious Christmas this time, and that is life.
That's a very beautiful word. As a matter of fact, accept, if I remember right, because I've read this so many times of this book he wrote, accept is the #1 word in this book.
It's a very important word because a lot of people really say, it can't be happening to me.
Yeah, let me do a little briefing about this book, please, right? It was about 2 years ago probably, I came across this kind of script written by my good friend Ken Hemming. I looked at it, about 10-15 minutes into it, I found myself in love with it. And not only to the fact that it has 100 words, beautiful words in there, but also to the depth.
Yes, thank you.
To the depth my good friend, writer friend, Ken Hemming takes into it to exactly let you know that life is very simple. Provided you have this 100 words to live by.
Yeah, when you're prepared for anything that can come upon your life, life is simple.
And it so happened that accept is the #1 word. So I like this very, very moment to talk about the word accept, because Ken mentioned that way as a start. We would like to explain how you want to encourage our people, to our folks, right, to accept the reality, good or bad.
Well, when we realize that reality actually happens, then once you absorb the damage or the impact of negative things that happen on planet Earth, then how I view life, my attitude takes over. And then attitude, I think, is everything. Bad things can happen to me, but if I accept it and I have a positive attitude that my next breath will be happier than this one, if this was damaged, then you move forward with, I never entertain negative thoughts in my mind ever, no matter what negativity might come in my life.
I know you are leading a very beautiful life, but in the word of acceptance, accept, what exactly did you say, or have you said?
A lot of it has
I want you to read a little bit about
sure.
your explanation about word accept, please.
Like that.
You need something to assist you, huh?
Well, maybe not.
You're still a young guy.
Oh yeah,
You're still a young guy.
With a good life and
All
a
right.
good heart. Just got to get to the first word.
Why don't you borrow mine?
Yeah, I've got it right here. There we go. Yeah. No, what I say though, accept is one of the hardest words to adopt in life on an unconditional basis. But if you succeed in accepting what life has to offer and what it has dealt to you, your life will be much smoother and less challenging. It cannot be said that life has a specific plan and destiny that is fixed with no alternatives. But certain things are destined to happen in our life that will pretty much be unavoidable. They may either be positive or negative in substance. If we spend our whole life rejecting what is happening to us and fighting reality, it will be a very tough life. So you have to just let it happen.
Very, very well said. It sounds, if not biblical, you yourself sound like a priest.
Well, I believe I
You're right, all right. Yeah, all right, good, very good. I strongly recommend to folks back there who are hit by the terrible incident, think this way, going this way. We want to drag you over this way, because we're siblings on the earth, siblings.
We are.
What? We hate to see you buried in that kind of the sad moment. We want to drag you out to think that way. Accept the word happened as a reality, good or bad.
No denial.
I noticed that you use the word unconditionally.
Yes, it's very, it's just unconditional. Reality is unconditional.
Reality is unconditional, and you accept it unconditionally.
I do.
Right.
In this circumstance in San Bernardino, there were 14 dead, 21 wounded. I am wounded. You are wounded. We are all wounded.
Everybody wounded.
We are all
Everybody is wounded.
Maybe
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
not a
yeah.
hole in my body, but we are wounded in our
Don't you
heart.
think,
So-
Ken, the word acceptance has another layer in it, in this meaning at this moment is, my take is that through this incident, this accident, or this massacre thing, right, we learned how to do our job. Law enforcement, right, our communities, right, the firefighters,
Right.
or our investigation
First
people,
responders,
our CIA people, our FBI people.
Right.
And well, you know, people surrounded with the issue learned one lesson. So accepting what happened as a reality has another layer, which is so positive, right?
Yeah, though it's a learning curve. We learn from every negative thing that happens in our life. Number one, we learn how to deal with it, okay? These poor people, their families in that, their life will never be the same. I translate some of this into my own brain. If something ever happened tragically to my daughter or my granddaughter or something, I think I'm prepared now because I have studied life for my whole life.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So preparation for positive or negative things really allows you. It gives you strength.
Yeah,
to,
very
to,
good.
to deal with it.
Oh, thank you very much, my dear Cam. I love you so much. I believe my audience do too.
And I love them.
My dear audience, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, I know that you are experiencing a very, very sad moment, yet there's a life going on. And to be honest with you, in preparation of this show, I thought of getting my priest friend to come here to do it. Well, you know, that I have to think about people of other believings, right?
Sure.
Of other religious groups, so that I give up that part, that idea. And I just drag him over. I say, Ken, come over here. This is the moment we need you.
Well,
Even though I have you do on 100 shows, more than 100 shows, but this is a specific time we need you. So we'll do it. We are sharing the thoughts with you. And the moment we want to introduce you a brand new concept to take it as a reality, and you have to accept it unconditionally. So, my dear audience, let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll continue finding how life goes on. How are we supposed to embrace life in the way best we can? Thank you very much, because we have, according to my friend, only 30,000 days, something plus minus to live.
So if you live to be 75, 28,500 days.
Yeah, all right, good. We'll certainly want to live longer than that.
We do.
Okay, my dear friend, we'll be right back.